What do you believe should be done to strengthen student engagement?
These students in grade 11 at Cameron Heights Collegiate Institute don't have a typical classroom.
The thing that makes Miss Weir's class different is that there's a lot more student-led activities. And so a lot of the activities that we put together were created and set out through students. And so, for example, we did the panel discussion, which was completely idea thought out by the students.
I wanted students to think about themselves not as individual learners, I wanted them to think of themselves as a community of learners. And so we spent a lot of time doing activities where we built community and we mixed together by giving them tasks where I asked them to talk to other people in the class, by giving them the opportunity to listen to other people and to hear what they had to say.
This class was a dual credit course, blending grade 11 English and the HSP course, which combined Psych, Soc, and Anthro. Students explored different issues on Case Study Fridays while using technology to enhance and support their learning. On the day we met some of them, they were looking at an issue important to their millennial peers.
I mainly the cancer perspective on it. It was saying that by the age of 35, if you use tanning beds often, it can also cause aging and skin wrinkles, but it also increases your chances of skin cancer by 75%.
Jamie ensures students are using the technology in a safe and responsible way. The grade 11s can use social media in the classroom as a resource to shape their learning about a topic.
Using multimedia and making those videos really helped with my learning because I didn't really know that you could put your ideas out there in that way. And I think it's really catchy for people because we put it in social media and a lot of people watch it and they get the message easier.
I think having them feel comfortable in that digital space and using technology not as an entertainment tool but as an educational tool, I think was really helpful.
Unlike most traditional classrooms, students in Jamie's class had the freedom to choose what they wanted to learn.
I was a lot more happier in this class than I am my other classes because I was able to create products that I felt were meaningful to me and to society as a whole.
I found it very eye-opening because I got to share my own ideas and I got to find out what I liked.
It made me definitely feel a lot more mature and I had control of my own learning.
Jamie also inspired curiosity among her students as they tackled topics like the future of learning. They thought the best way to discuss this was to hear from the people that make decisions about education. They reached out to panelists like Education Officer Brenda Sherry.
We think that what your teacher is doing here this year is a really good example of that real-world learning, connecting you outside of the classroom.
And Chief Information Officer of the Waterloo Region District School Board, Mark Carbone, who collaborated with Jamie to organize the panel.
This really shows a good example of how this class had an interactive experience with, in this case, panelists across Canada. And they were able to put a personal learning context to it because it was their questions, their probing about educational change and gathering input. I know they were monitoring feedback, and so there was a participatory culture to it, and of course it was all documented and posted online just by using Google Hangouts on air.
Jamie acted as a mentor to her students, allowing them to increase their self-esteem while taking risks.
It gave me a lot more self-confidence because a lot of my skills increased in all different parts of the curriculum, and so one of the main things was presentation skills increased because the environment that my peers created for me really helped me to share my ideas a lot easier.
I'm really comfortable with talking in front of people and just putting my ideas out there without having the fear of being judged.
With a different classroom layout, students learn to collaborate with one another and share their thoughts.
We got to work in groups instead of individual tables, and so that was a big help because when you had a conversation or you wanted to throw an idea out there and have a conversation about it, you could do it. And if that table wasn't exactly interested, all the other tables were such inviting people, and it was just unique people at each table where you could go and talk to.
It makes it easier to talk to people, which you will experience, I guess, a lot outside of high school. So I think that's one of the main things, being able to interact with others and kind of connect with them and be able to kind of take in their opinions and also expand off of them.
The biggest lesson students learned through this class was the discovery of their own voices.
I just never knew that my voice could be heard because through this course, my teacher had so many other connections with other people that she showed us that your voice can be heard. It not necessarily that before I didn't really have a voice before, that was the problem, but then through all these different activities that we did within the classroom, it helped me create a voice for myself, which then allowed me to share with other people.
The continuous feedback given from teacher to student created a culture of mutual respect between the two.
What was most valuable through this experience was being able to talk to my teacher a lot. And so the feedback meant a lot to me because sometimes feedback can be taken in both positive and negative ways. But throughout the entire semester, my teacher made sure it was always positive feedback on things that I could grow on. Even if it was something I did wrong, she changed it so that way it could be something I can continue to grow on.
I think the biggest thing for getting to know my students was that trust, and I wanted them to feel like I trusted their judgment, and that if I thought that they were heading down a path that may not be the best, then they trusted that I would tell them. But if I listened to what their ideas were and they supported their thinking and they had some ideas of where they wanted to go, then I also trusted their judgment because they know themselves or they're discovering themselves, and that was what was best for them at the time.
With the right administrative support, teaching courses like these really can be the future of learning.
So administrators and school leaders have to take a look and get outside their normal thinking to make things happen and to make it easier for the teachers.
I think being mindful of always to be doing your best while you're forward-looking and improving, that mix, I think, for me is something that's really important in education.